have accomplished my plans. I want to know everything happening in my house and in my wife's life. I will use this to gather evidence for divorce. With this, I will be able to listen to all her phone calls, read her text messages. After gathering all the evidence, I will file for divorce.
You are sleeping over. I mean, you are not going back to your husband's house today. You will go tomorrow morning. I want us to enjoy this night as well. When I finish with you this night, you can go back to your husband's house in the morning. Jones tells Diana, who has been sleeping since around 12 noon. The time was 5 p.m. She was so tired after Jones finished with her earlier in the day. She didn't know when she slept off in the cozy room, which was highly air conditioned. In her heart, she knew she loves the place. Jones had ordered food for her online. The food was so tasty that she began to question her own cooking skills after she finished eating it. Everything about the house was superb, no doubt. She also enjoyed the bedroom action because Jones seemed to have used a different type of internet browser when he was logging in. She absolutely loved it, but she was still trying to maintain decorum. Something in her head still reminds her that she's a married woman. I can't sleep here. I mean, I have to rush home and cook for my husband. What would this say if he comes back from work and fails to see me? My secret could be exposed. My husband is not aware I'm doing this with you. Do you want to ruin my marriage? Please, Jones, I have to rush home right now because my husband will soon arrive, Diana said as she stood up from the bed, wore her clothes, picked her handbag, and started going. But Jones' voice made her to stop. If you leave, just know that your husband has lost the job. I said I want you to sleep over, and you're talking about your husband. Is your husband more important than me? Come back and relax. Let us enjoy ourselves, Jones said. Diana has never seen any man who likes the company of a woman more than Jones. Jones is just like a pest. What do you mean? I can't sleep over in your house. It's a taboo for a married woman to sleep over in another man's house. What if my husband finds out? What are you even thinking? Do you even have my happiness at heart? Or you don't want to keep tapping from me until I run dry? Did you come to destroy my marriage? Diana asked, trying to put up a strong defense. But that didn't work because Jones was not that type of man who gives up easily. You have used your hands to destroy your marriage. I wasn't the one to blame for the destruction of your marriage. The moment you walked into my office and asked me to give your husband a job in exchange for your sugar, your marriage was destroyed. You got what you wanted. You got a house, 2 cars, and a good job for your husband. You think I'll just do it once and let go? Have you ever seen anyone who spit out sugar when was put in his mouth? You put sugar in my mouth and you want me to spit it out, John said. He had a glass cup in his hand. It contained red wine, with cubes of ice in, and he was sipping copiously from it. It was just once. That was our agreement that day. You were supposed to walk away after one enjoyment. Why are you holding me to ransom? This is not what I bargained for. I was just trying to help my husband. I was trying to get help for my family because we are suffering. Now the help I got has turned into bittersweet. Please, let me go and cook for my husband. He'll be very angry if he discovers this game we are playing. Diana lamented. I don't care about those things you are saying. I'm just going to allow you a few hours so you can go home, prepare food for your husband, and then come back and stay with me. You have to be quick. You know the consequences of not coming back, Jones warned sternly. As Diana walked out of the compound and boarded Uber on her way home, she had realized she was in a very difficult situation. She was weeping in the car, and she was trying desperately to hide her face from the Uber driver. What am I going to do? She asked herself, without being able to give any answer. When she got home, her husband was already home, waiting alone in the living room. I'm sorry you waited so long, darling. I went out to buy some soft drinks for you. We don't have any in the fridge anymore, Diana said as she hugged her husband and placed a can of Martina before him. She had taken 3 bottles of Martina from John's fridge and it was one of them she gave to her husband. Luckily for Diana, she had prepared a meal the previous day. She quickly warmed it and dished it for her husband, who ate to his satisfaction. I'm going for a nice vigil in the church. I want to go and pray for the family and for you to continue to succeed at your workplace. Diana tells her husband. He was washing his hand after he finished eating the pounded yam and egusi soup. Alright, that's a good idea. Tekena, her husband, said. He had finished washing his hands in the bowl of water held up for him by Diana. Are you saying I can go? Diana asked calmly. Yes, of course, Tekena said. Diana was surprised that her husband approved her request so easily. I guess I won't see you in the morning before going to work, Tekena said. Yeah, I will stay in the church till daybreak, Diana said. She went into the room, took her bag, and left the house after hugging her husband. She called Uber and went straight to John's house. Shortly after Shortly after Diana left, Tekena, her husband, felt he too needed to pray for himself. Recently, he had abandoned God after he got a good job. Let me go to the ninth vigil and join my wife, so we can pray together, Tekena said as he picked his car keys and drove to the church. Tekena drove into the church premises and found everywhere empty. There was no one in the church. He was wondering if he had made a mistake or if he had come to the right church. Is this not our church? Tekena asked himself as he checked the signboard again to be sure he was not making a mistake. This is our church. I'm in the right place, he said as he was walking around the church premises. The security man came out to talk with him. My wife said there's going to be a night vigil today. I was thinking I would come and join the people to pray, but no one is in the church. Was the night vigil postponed? Tekena asked the security man. There is no night vigil today, sir. I think you are making a mistake. No night vigil was announced for today. So far as I can remember, as you can see, no one is in the church. The security man tells Tekena, who was standing and leaning on his car. He was bemused and felt ashamed at the same time because he never knew himself to make such mistakes. Alright, let me go home. It means I did not get the right information. Good night. Tekena said goodbye to the security man as he left the church and started driving home. Where did my wife go to then? If she is not in the church, and if there is no night vigil, where did she go to? And where will she pass the night? I'm confused right now. Tekena was talking to himself as he was driving home. Did she lie to me? How can she tell me lies after there was a night vigil in the church when there is no such thing? She has never behaved that way, and I'm surprised about her new form of behavior, Tekena said to himself. Tekena decided to branch off into a roadside suya joint to buy suya for himself. It has been long he ate good suya, so it might as well be good if he bought some and eat alone when he gets home. When he parked his car by the roadside and wanted to open the door and come out, he saw his wife standing at the suya joint with Jones. They too came to buy suya that they would enjoy that night. Tekena was taken aback when he saw his wife holding hands with Jones as if they are lovers. Is that not my wife I'm seeing? Is my eyes paining me or what? Is that not Diana? What is she doing out here in the night with Mr. Jones? Tekena said to himself in the car. He did not open the car door again, but instead stayed inside and observed Diana and Jones as they bought suya and left the place, hand in hand. They entered Jones' expensive jeep and drove away into the dark night. I'm in shock. So my wife is cheating on me with my manager. This is shocking. How did they come to know each other so fast? Even me that work in the same company as Jones has never entered his car. How did my wife come to know the white man? She lied to me that she was going to a night vigil, but here she is with Jones, cruising around town and enjoying life as if she has no husband. Tekena said. He decided not to buy suya again, but instead drove home in anger. Tekena decided not to think too much about what he saw, but to commence a thorough investigation as to why his wife was mingling with Jones. When he got home, he went to bed straight after taking his bath. In the morning, around 7 a.m., Diana walked into the living room when Tekena was preparing for work. He had fixed a breakfast for himself and was eating before his wife walked into the house. Welcome, darling. How was the night vigil? I hope you prayed for me. Tekena asked his wife, who walked into the living room with tiredness in her face. She looked so famished and worn out. Yes, darling, I surely prayed for you, but right now I'm so tired. I did not sleep throughout the night. The prayers were so intense. When the prayers was going on, I spoke in tongues for the first time. Diana informs her husband. Really? That's interesting. That means your prayer were actually answered. Thanks so much for always praying for the growth of the family. Tekena replied. He had decided to play along with his wife, claiming not to know what was going on between her and Jones. He finished his breakfast and went to work as if nothing happened. On his way back from work in the evening, Tekena bought his wife a new smartphone. When he got home, he gave it to her as a gift. But unfortunately, they discovered that the new phone uses micro SIM. I will go and call the SIM card for you tomorrow. Tekena assured his wife, who was sad that she could not start using the new phone that night. The next day, Tekena took the SIM card to a technician for cutting. However, he also duplicated it. He told the technician to clone the SIM card, meaning he would have two copies of the same SIM card so that he can tap his wife's phone and listen to all her conversations. He put one of the cloned SIM cards in his phone and put one in his wife's new phone.
I have accomplished my plans. I want to know everything happening in my house and in my wife's life. I will use this to gather evidence for divorce. With this, I will be able to listen to all her phone calls, read her text messages. After gathering all the evidence, I will file for divorce.
Tekena said